Yes, good evening, or should I say Spursy evening to you all. Joined by Henry Wright TV right now. Obviously, I'm Sava from Football Heritage TV. Henry, normally I start the shows quite upbeat with a skip in my step. I'm positive about the manager, but can I just say, Spursy, Dr. Tottenham, manager was absolutely shocking tonight. Where do we start, Henry? What was that all about?
Where do we start? Well, thanks for having me on, but where do we start? You don't make 9 changes, mate. You just said it on my video. I mean, Man City, when they're in the Cups, they make 5 or 6. I'd expect us to make 3 or 4 tonight.
Yeah.
Keep the same back line. Vicario, one of Bissouma or Sarr, Maddison,
Yep.
Son, and one of the wingers. 2 or 3 changes, maximum 4, but 9, mate.
9.
We haven't won a trophy in 16 years.
Yep.
The only thing we've got to play for now is the FA Cup, because let's be honest, we're not getting top 4. The FA Cup, we're in August. You do not make 9 changes. It's so disrespectful to Fulham.
Mm-hmm.
It's disrespectful to the FA Cup. It's complete naive to think we can go to the Craven Cottage with Sanchez, with Højbjerg, with Skip, which as a double pivot, as I said on my video, they are worse than Sissoko and Winks. And I stand by that. Højbjerg today was awful. Skip, the only thing people can say is he come out of our academy. If you take it on face value, he is awful. Mate, it's not good enough. It's on Ange. It's not good enough, mate.
I agree. Listen, what made me laugh, the moment the game had finished, everyone coming out saying, Sava, if Conte had done this, you would have gone mad. What do you mean? I'm going mad that Ange has done this. Yeah,
but it doesn't matter which manager.
No, this is shocking, right? Let's be fair about this, right? Let's be really brutally honest, Henry. We have gone to Fulham, who made 4 changes, by the way, and only one of them was through injury. So they've made 3 changes, essentially, to the team that drew at Arsenal, yeah?
When they were down to 10 men.
2-2 at the weekend, down to 10 men, right? We've gone to Craven Cottage against a London Premier League rival and decided that, you know what? Yeah, we can make 9 changes. I don't ever want to hear. Sorry, Henry. Yeah, listen, who do we think we are? Who does Ange think we are? I don't ever want to hear again, Henry, that Royale is a good defender, that Sanchez should be our backup, that Ben Davies should get another contract extension, that Højbjerg shouldn't be sold, that Lo Celso should be a backup to Maddison, that Richarlison's scored a header. Awful player. His all-round game. Did anyone in that first half stand out for you? Anyone?
The only thing is Forster made 2 good saves. That was it. That's
shocking.
It.
Shocking.
The only good performance overall throughout the 90 minutes, in my opinion personally, was Van der Ven.
Yep.
And even like you said on my video, even he's got injured, mate. It's not good enough. You keep the same back 4. You keep the same spine. Jose Mourinho wouldn't have done that. We went full strength, Stoke City away. We went full strength, Brentford when they were in a championship at home. Yep. We played Kane, Son, both of them. Yep. Last season, Sheffield United away in the FA Cup. Conte does it. Kane, Kulu on the bench. Yep. Who do we think we are? We haven't won a trophy since 2008.
Yep. And I'm going to call him out now, Henry. In his press conference after the game, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, right, Ange, do you know what? Take this. Take this. We'll give you credit if you turn around and go, you know what? I got this wrong. He has turned around and defended his decision to make 9 changes to the tune of whatever he said. I'm not word for word, but it was literally along the lines of, how do I know how good my players are if I do not give them a chance? Henry, they train with these players week in, week out, right? There's a reason. There's a reason that none of these players have made the first 11 in the opening 3 games of the Premier League, right? We have seen the fans, us fans, Henry, have seen these players year in, year out fail. But yet we've had to see it again to prove what to who. What has that achieved tonight?
It hasn't achieved anything, mate.
Nothing.
You watch Sanchez day in, day out on a training ground. You watch Højbjerg, you watch Skip, you watch Royale. It's so disrespectful to Fulham, to the Cup. So naive to think we're going to go there and with 9 changes. I don't remember the last Premier League team away from home in any cup to make 9 changes and dominate the game. Man City don't even do that. Man City, Pep makes about 6.
Especially against Premier League rivals.
Yeah, he normally changes Ortega for Edison. He'll play one of the back 4. Normally it's Diaz, and he might play Walker. Cole Palmer might get minutes, but you'll still see Rodri. You still see Foden. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Richarlison up front. And then the first change he makes, he puts a kid on.
I mean, look, let's talk about the 2 things you just mentioned. Yes, Richarlison got his goal, and people will lose their mind. He scored, right? Premier League striker scores a header from 3 yards. Whoopity-doo. His all-round game, Henry, is absolutely awful. I'm talking to the point where I don't think he's a Premier League player at all. I watched Luton the other night against Chelsea, and Colton Morris up front and Adebayo. Is it Adebayo?
The winger.
Held the ball up well, strong, ball stuck to their feet. They brought players into the game. Watch Richarlison tonight. He is shocking.
What does he excel at? He's
Nothing.
4 goals. He's scored in a Tottenham shirt. 3 of them have been headers. So what does that tell you about the rest of his game?
Mate, he's awful. He's an awful footballer. But let's move. Look, we'll move on from Richarlison. You made a good point there, Henry, right? You made a good point. We've made 9 changes, right? We have seen that this B team isn't good enough. Will it stop our fans now defending the likes of Højbjerg? Will it stop them now saying Lo Celso has got a reprieve because of a couple of 45 minutes against the Lion City Sailors and West Ham's B team? Like, as fans, what do we learn from that? Like,
well, me and you will be saying this to the cows come home, mate. We'll be perceived as this negative duo, but all we're saying is correct information. Like, I see the amount of people today. I see the amount of people today after the game saying, "Oh, but it's only the League Cup. It's only 1 game." But like, what more can these players do? Giovanni Lo Celso has been here 4 years. Sanchez
this
has
is
been
his 5th season. Sanchez 7th.
7th season.
Yep.
You know, and he's supposed to be on the transfer list going out, and he's stepping up, taking a penalty. That's another one of Ange's decisions. Ange chooses the penalty takers. He has got to be held accountable tonight. I'm not saying I'm not Ange. I love the manager, but you've got to, like you said, you've got to call a spade a spade.
Of course. Absolutely. Mate, listen, at the end of the day, I love the manager style of football. But as I said on your video, to play the manager style of football, you've got to have your best players on the pitch. You can't have poor players, technically, trying to play that football that they play when we've got Sarr, Maddison, Basuma, Udogie, Porro, Van der Ven, Romero. You can't do it, right? The substitutions tonight, I thought took too long. You know, after we got back in the game, good cross from Perisic, decent header from Richarlison. You're thinking to yourself, do you know what? Put the subs on now. Now we're in the ascendancy. Put the subs on now. Go for
got the momentum.
But we didn't. And for the next 15 minutes, it was all one-way traffic. Funnily enough, when he brings on Maddison, when he brings on Son, when he brings on Kulu, when he brings on Sarr, Spurs started dominating the football.
Yep. Surprise.
Spurs started doing it's absolutely baffling how we can see it. Most of the fans can see it, apart from the ones that will literally die on a hill to defend performances like that. But he can't see it. And you know the funny thing, Henry? He nearly got away with it. If we had won that penalty shootout, he gets away with that.
He would have done the exact same thing in the next round.
Right.
Because we would have got a team away from home, and he'd done the same thing. But when are we going to learn, right, that we are categorically, when it comes to cup games, we are not a strong side. Right. And look at every single competition. We got knocked out by Zagreb of the Europa League, Colchester, Middlesbrough, Nottingham Forest, Norwich.
Sheffield United.
Remember we lost 5-4 to Everton?
Yeah.
Everton haven't scored 5 goals since.
Yeah, mate, listen.
They've nearly been relegated twice.
Do you know the shame of this, Henry? When I was growing up, Spurs were a fantastic cup team. We were a fantastic cup team.
And now what are we?
Now, listen. I'm so annoyed with the manager. I'm so annoyed with the manager. And yeah, it's the first cross and you say, okay, cool. When we've all calmed down, we move forward and he has to learn from this. But he has to learn from this. We can't now get in the FA Cup third round. We can't get drawn against someone away. And you think you can put out 9 changes? Who does that? I mean,
Mate,
look.
Pep doesn't even do that. Like I said.
Mate, it's absolutely embarrassing. Look, what I would say is overall for me, I will call a spade a spade. Postecoglou, I love him as a manager. I love that he's so honest in his speaking. But you know what? I don't love what he did tonight in the team selection. I don't like what he did in the penalty selection. And I do not like his press conference afterwards where he is not taking the blame for it. Right? He is preaching to the choir.
Hold your hands up.
Right.
Hold your hands up, mate.
Right. Absolutely. Look, Henry, if we don't beat Burnley now on Saturday, what would all those 9 changes have been for? And why are we resting players after 3 games in a season?
Let me ask you something. Would you lose to Burnley if it meant beating Fulham?
No. Should be winning both.
Right. We should be.
Should be winning both.
What the narrative will be now is if we beat Burnley, everyone would just completely forget about that result.
Oh, yeah.
It could be in the past.
Yeah, there you go. He was right to do what he did. Do you know what? If professional footballers can't play on the Tuesday night and then Saturday at 3 o'clock, what are we doing here?
Chelsea are playing on Saturday and they play tomorrow night.
Mate, listen, it's absolutely embarrassing. Look, Henry, we are going to leave it there. Look, all in all, we've seen many of these down the years, Henry. We've seen many bad nights like this. I'm really frustrated it's come so soon into Ange Postecoglou's era. He's got to learn from it. We move forward.
Yeah.
But that was, and I'm going to say it, that was as Spursy as you get.
Yeah, spot on, mate. It was. It's another performance away from home, you know, to a weaker opposition where, once again, we have failed to deliver and have been knocked out on penalties to Fulham.
Yeah. Listen, with that in mind, please go and subscribe to Henry Wright TV. I believe he's just on the verge of hitting the 16K. I think that's right. Is it, Henry?
Yeah, we're about 195 away, something like that.
195. Come on, we can get 195 people. Go and subscribe to Henry. Keep subscribing to me. We've just gone past the 10,500 and we move forward towards the 11. Thank you for all your views. Please like, please subscribe, please leave your comments, but keep them clean, keep them nice. We live to fight another day. Thanks, Henry. And as always, come on.
Come on, you Spurs.
You Spurs.